Okay. So let me talk about the crowning energy first, because this is something that's on your mind. This is something that you are thinking about. And if it jives with you, then at least you know that the reading is meant for you. Okay. So that really, I feel like it's helpful in letting people know whether or not they should continue watching or whether they should, take it with a grain of salt. But, it's a little bit of a heavy energy coming through here. So we have here the King of Wands, the Hermit, and the Devil. So first of all, what I'm feeling is this. And the crowning energy is somebody that you are thinking about. And I'm feeling like I'm speaking to a lot of females in particular, like, Piscean women in this spread. Whether or not you date men, I still feel there's a very strong feminine vibe for Piscean people that are watching this. So the person that you are thinking about, they're showing up here as the King of Wands, a fire sign, Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo. This is a person I feel that might have anger issues. They might have control issues. They might have anger issues. And I feel like they are a little bit domineering. Okay. They're very courageous, very brave, but I feel that there's an element here of somebody being afraid of somebody else. So there's a lot of like dominance, fear, control issues in this, with this person that you were dealing with. It's linked up with the Devil card, and the Devil indicates addiction. It indicates situation where somebody is keeping you very stuck against your will, and you're trying to extract yourself, but you might not know how. You might not feel like you're in proper control of the situation. You might feel as if you're kind of like kept down or kept in bondage and chains as a result of a relationship with this person. It might have happened in the past. It might be happening now, or it's somebody that, you were involved with and it left a really bitter taste in your mouth and you're really cautious overall about trusting other people. It's linked up here with the Hermit as well. And the Hermit is a situation where I feel like a self-imposed isolation. Okay. I feel that you were with somebody that possibly had anger issues. It was a situation where they kept you down and they kept you feeling very isolated. So even though you were in a relationship with them, the interaction between the two of you made you feel isolated. They might have like kept you away from your friends. They might have even kept you away from going to work. They might have kept you away from like resuming a normal lifestyle. Okay. And vice versa. This energy I feel is going both ways. I feel that a lot of you have a fire sign that you might have children with. And there is a cord of attachment. There are major, major karmic ties still linking the two of you that you both are not able to extract from one another. And I do feel there is an energy of like one person being very weary of the other. One person is like keeping things hush hush and not revealing too much of themselves to other people. I see somebody cowering in somebody else's presence. It can be your end from them, like cowering away from them because you're afraid, or it could be from their end where they are cowering away from you. And, it might be because they're afraid of you, but I'm getting overwhelmingly control issues, anger issues, and I feel that there is massive bonds of attachment that is not breaking. And it's not a good situation for you to be in. What I'm also sensing is that you're dealing with a fire sign that might be a little bit confrontational and you're afraid. That's what I'm sensing, okay? So Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo, this is a person that has, if in the past they have been kept down, if in the past they have been losing their power or giving their power away, they're fighting back. So I feel that you're dealing with a fire sign that is confrontational in general, okay? Which brings us, let's look into the past and see like what got you here. So in the past position, we have here the Six of Swords. And this is what I feel though with this card is the energy is quite heavy. And I feel like this might even extend back, like the past 2 years. Okay. The Six of Swords is a situation where somebody is shifting away from a very, very tumultuous, troublesome, dangerous, perilous even situation into safer water. The thing about this card is that, you know, the person on the boat, they don't know where they're going, and they have trust and faith that, you know, they've been through so much in the past that wherever they're going, no matter how much it is, they're still they would still prefer the unknown to wherever they were living. Okay, so I feel like for a lot of you, you might have been in a really bad space in the past 2 years, the past 6 months, and whatever wherever you're going next, you're just like, I don't care where it is. I just hope that, you know, I'm able to leave the past behind. So I feel like it takes a lot for a person to get to the point where they're like, you know, they would rather choose the unknown than to stay with a bad situation or a bad partner. So I feel that I do sense, once again, you know, a lot of control abuse issues, substance abuse, even like anger issues, control issues coming through between you and another person you were involved with in the past. And the energy can flow both ways, but I feel like it's coming through strongly mutually. Okay. It's linked up with the Judgment card, and the Judgment card is what I call like the Day of Reckoning. This is like all the information coming to light in glaring, full public view. So I feel like there was a major discovery. There was some major turning point, culmination in a relationship. And I feel like a lot of people were involved in it. And as a result, you can't keep things under wraps anymore. Okay, so whatever situation you were in, I feel that you hid it from other people. So you might have hid, you know, like what was going on in the relationship. And it's gotten to the point where, you know, people had to be involved. Authorities had to be called even in order to rectify a situation. And I feel like you can no longer keep it under wraps. And the fact that it's coming into full view, into light, is basically a reality check. It's basically telling you enough's enough. You need to take better care of yourself. You need to get yourself out of this situation. Or enough is enough. Whatever you're doing with the other person is not healthy. So I feel a lot of you are were in this situation in the recent past. It's also linked up here with the Two of Swords. So let me just say here that you have moved on. You have moved on. I feel a lot of you might be seeking therapy. A lot of you might be getting a lot of like government assistance, either a social worker in order to assess your health, in order to take better care of yourself, or you're getting a lot of family support in order to help you with the next phase in your life. And now you're kind of like getting yourself back on your feet, and you're just like, okay, what do I go from here? And I feel a lot of you have the ability to bounce back, mainly because you know this situation is what it is, and you don't really have a choice. So you're kind of like moving forward, okay? But I feel that in the past you really struggle with this decision, and you're struggling about, you know, I feel like you're struggling because you can't really adequately make sense of it. Like there are still a lot of unanswered questions. There were still a lot of like, what ifs? What if I'd done things differently? What if the other person, you know, came back? And I feel like they're saying this is final. It's the end of the line. It's already in the past. It's drifting away. So this situation cannot come back together. So if you were dealing with an air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra, I feel like that person is being pushed into the past, and they're not going to be making a comeback, okay? If you're dealing with a fire sign, there's still some karmic issues here, and it pertains to custody, money, financial entanglements, but I do see children as well. What's coming in the present position right now for this month, we do have the Eight of Pentacles, which is you getting your life back in order, burying yourself in work, trying to forget the memory of the past, trying to like fix yourself. So this is a card about, you know, sorting out your financial situation, sorting out your practical responsibilities, you know, having a schedule, maintaining your weight, getting yourself into a very empowered state of being. So you are going out there, taking the proper steps in order to get your life back on track. And it's linked up with the Seven of Swords. And the Seven of Swords, I feel, this is a card about deception. This is a card about shifting, like sneaky this is a sneaky energy. It's like sneakily shifting from one location to the next. Okay. So if you have been, let me just say that if you are currently, you know, the Eight of Pentacles is also a card where I think about Tinder. I think about like online dating. I think about people who are racking up the many, many options, the many women or the many men that they are talking to. And you want to be very careful because I feel like if you are online dating, just be very careful. There's sneaky behavior coming through here, and there are people that are representing themselves in the best light, and what you see is not what you get. So be very, very careful. A lot of you are dealing with a fire sign, a Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo that you have recently met. If you're online dating, I feel that I feel like they might be misrepresenting themselves. Okay. So just, you know, take it slow, get to know them really well. And I do feel vice versa. Don't misrepresent yourself when you are out on the dating front, because I feel like things are going to come to light. Okay. Things are going to be brought out in the open, and it might be difficult to try to do any damage control. Okay. So the foundation, we have the Ace of Pentacles, which basically means that a lot of you are coming into a situation where there's money coming through for you. There are also like solid offers when it comes to people that want to meet you. It's linked up here with the Three of Swords, which is very interesting because I feel like for some of you, there are solid options coming through, but I do feel that you are still very, very brokenhearted, that you want to date lightly rather than investing your all in a relationship. But overall, I feel that your sense of personal kind of like self-worth, your sense of like personal empowerment is being restored very, very slowly, but you're still going to need a lot of concrete actions, concrete like gestures from another person in order for you to invest yourself. A lot of you are also sitting back, letting other people come to you. So you're not charging full speed ahead, waiting for the other or, you know, charging full speed ahead at the other person. You're waiting for offers to come through. You're waiting for people to, you know, match up their words with real concrete evidence. And you're waiting for actions to show how much, you know, what their intentions are. So you're not rushing in. You're not being naive anymore. You're a lot more careful and cautious about, you know, your intentions. I feel like this is going to apply to a very small minority of you, but I do feel that a lot of you, you've been through a lot. You're a little bit jaded when it comes to dating. And I feel, I'm feeling that a lot of you are just thinking, I just want somebody to take care of me financially. I don't really believe in love anymore. I just want, you know, to either date somebody that has a lot of wealth, or, you know, just date somebody that can take care of me. And I want you to be very careful about that, because I feel like you have been through a lot. You're very jaded. And this, when you are with somebody that you're not in love with, it creates a lot of bad karma, and it creates a lot of blockages. I've seen it firsthand. Just want you to be very careful about that, okay? I've seen it happen where, you know, if you lie to yourself, that's one thing, but if you lie to another person, and that can be very, very dangerous. And I'm getting a lot of heavy cards here that indicates to me that this might be the route that a few of you, men or women watching this, are contemplating, and I don't feel that that's the right way to go, okay? Because your life is not over. Just don't settle for a situation that is, you know, below expectation, because I feel like in the past, you really loved somebody, and you loved on a very, very deep level, and that person really hurt you. And now you're just like, I'm jaded. I don't really believe in love anymore. I just want, you know, I just want somebody stable, and you might not even love them. So don't deprive them of an opportunity for false love, or for meeting their true love, mainly because, you know, if you're not 100% invested, let them go, let them find somebody else. Okay. So don't cheat the other person of an opportunity to meet their true love either. So what's coming through in the future position? We do have the Ten of Swords, and the Ten of Swords is pretty much the end, okay? This is kind of like betrayal, words thrown about that are very, very hurtful. And a lot of the times I see this card, it's sort of like beating a dead horse, or, you know, a lot of the times words that are thrown about in fits of anger or rage, they still have lasting ramifications. So I feel like you want to be really careful about what you're saying. And I feel that Piscean people are very well mannered. Even when you're very upset, you would withdraw rather than, you know, throw hateful words about. So I feel like this might be coming through from your external environment. It is making you quite angry. And I do feel that there might have been a lot of deception, a lot of lies, deception coming to light for this month. And if it happened in the past, you're still trying to give it another go. I feel like it's coming through in the future as well. And it's not something that can be, you know, fixed, okay? So I feel pretty much that the end is near for this relationship, especially if you were in a situation where somebody was very coercive, very controlling. They might have a lot of financial stability, but I feel they were coercive, they were controlling. You couldn't find a way out. And I feel this is the month in which some other information is coming to light where you're not really going to have a choice. Okay. So they're telling you it would be pretty foolish. Just like seize the struggle, seize the battle, not seize as in grab, but like seize, like as in end, like just end that situation, because I feel like a lot of truths are coming to light, or at least, you know, your intuition is kicking in, telling you something is off about this situation. If you continue down further, I feel that you're going to come into full realization that it wasn't, you know, what you thought all along. So don't give it another, you know, go around. Okay. This is pretty much the end of a cycle. So just keep that in mind. If you are dealing with an air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, I feel unfortunately, this is a situation where things are not as they seem. If you're dealing with a water sign as well, there is some shadiness going on. I feel like a lot of things are kept under the radar. A lot of things are kind of like hidden from view. And old fire signs, like, you know, fire signs that you've been dealing with for quite some time, who is coercive and things like that, it's not going to work out well. So they're saying that with the fire sign, you're buying time, but it's not going to end well. You're just buying time, okay? Please be careful for this month, Pisces. If this sounds familiar to you, try to keep yourself very level-headed. And, you know, if relationships need to end, they need to end. It's just the natural progression of things. Things are not meant to last forever. So if you are finding yourself in situations where you don't feel like you have total control over your life, you know, you're with the wrong relationship partner. There's no other way to, you know, sugarcoat that. So I feel for those of you who are newly single, you're still a little bit like, you're still in a situation where you might be dealing with exes, okay? You're trying to move on with your life, and exes keep coming back to bother you. And then others of you, you have like exes with children that you have children with interfering with your love life. So that's coming through as well. So you just need to close the doors on them, set firm boundaries, reinforce your boundaries when it comes to like, here are the times that I'm available for you to drop off the kids and whatnot. And make sure that you don't reveal too much of what you're doing, okay? Because they don't need to know your business. So if it's an ex that is constantly interfering with the people that you're dating, you need to draw up boundaries. And I feel like you're not doing that sufficiently. So you need to like put up those walls, okay? I feel that emotionally you're in a good space. You're no longer, I feel like a lot of you might be a little bit jaded though. You're not like naive and, you know, too trusting, but I feel like it's the opposite end where you might be just a little bit like jaded. And so either way, Pisces, I do wish you all the best. Take this with a grain of salt. It's guidance for people that need to hear it, okay?